What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Content Clubhouse podcast presented by The First Call. I'm Nathan Moore, and this week I sat down with Michael Rodriquez, better known as Homie Golf on Instagram, TikTok, and also starting a new YouTube channel, which we dove into that, how he got started in the game, transitioning from playing college football and really throwing himself into the game of golf as a way of kind of getting out of a tough time in his life. That and just his personal content creation journey and how he found his niche in this wild, crazy, crowded world that is golf content creation. So, that out of the way, here's our conversation with Michael. Welcome back to another episode of the Content Clubhouse podcast, where I'm very pleased to be joined today by Michael Rodriquez, better known as Homie Golf on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. First, Michael, do you go by Homie? Do you go by Michael? Mike, what's kind of the brand or what would you like to be referred to as we go forward here? Just want to make sure I get that right.
It really doesn't matter. Usually friends and family, they call me Michael, Mike. I don't care which either name. But everybody else at the golf course that doesn't know me or just gets to know me, just calls me Homie, which I don't really care about. I love it. So it doesn't really matter. Whichever one anybody prefers.
Gotcha. Well, it's definitely a really cool kind of brand and label you kind of set up for yourself. So for those of you listening who may or may not be as familiar with your content, can you kind of explain your style in the lane that you inhabit in this ever-growing golf content space?
Before we get into the story of how I got into it, what I like to show my viewers on my Instagram is basically the growth of my game. I've only been playing about 4.5, 5 years now. I played when I was 24 for 2 years. I took off like 9 years because I moved to Charlotte, and then I started it back up about 2 years ago. But for what I show in my content is basically growth. All my videos, I don't hold on to videos. All my videos are either current that day or the next day. Only the people that follow me for the longest know that, and they see the progression in my game. So that's just a good fun fact. I don't hold on to content. I don't post old content, just like a lot of people do, which I know it probably will grow a little faster, but I like to show people like what's going on, and they get to see my swing, new swings, and just the progression of the game. So that's pretty much it.
Yeah, that's really interesting. So in terms of your kind of creative process then, so you're playing a lot of golf then, right? To kind of keep up with that quick turnaround?
That's facts. I'm playing a lot of golf. When I first started it was just so much money I put into it. But there's a point to where it was just like, I just enjoyed it. I really enjoyed making videos. It wasn't I wanted to get the followers or anything. It was just because I actually really loved making videos, and I loved golfing, and I just wanted to get better at the game.
Cool. So kind of talking about your growth in the game and getting better, in a post from 2023, you did a really cool side-by-side of your swing back in 2013, I guess maybe when you were just getting started, and then kind of compared to at that time versus 2023 and all the progress you had made. So what has that journey been like? How did you get into golf, and how have you been working on your game over that time?
So quick story. I played football at Tusculum College, and I ended up, trying to go to the NFL. Didn't work out. Went overseas and could have went back overseas to get a new contract, but obviously I did regional combines, didn't make it, and gave up and went back to school. Going back to school, I went back home for the summer after school ended at Coastal Carolina, where I finished up at. And my dad wanted me to get on the golf course with him, and my brother too, because he didn't know how to golf either. So me and him, my brother, got on the course at the same time, around like 24. And I went back to school after my dad whooped me a lot of times, and I just made it a point to where I was like, when I get back, I just want to tear him up. I just want to come back as a new player. So when I went back to Coastal, it was $5 to play 18 holes. And I played almost every day just to get better. And within that 1 year of me golfing, I shot 80s, and I came back and he couldn't touch me anymore. So just got real competitive. And then, ended up moving to Charlotte it was just way too much money. It was $70, $60 to play 18 holes. And then where I'm coming from, it was $25 everywhere. So I was broke. So I just ended up working, and just gave up golf, but not gave up golf. It was just too expensive. And then, got into a relationship for 8 years. Ended up, at the time, my girlfriend got sick with cancer, and I had to take care of her. And then, end of that relationship, she ended up passing away. And I was in a deep depression. I was stressed. I got into the gym, worked out, and that didn't fully heal me. So I ended up going back on the golf course, and for some odd reason, the nature, and everything else it just made me happy. And then, I told my boys, hey, I want to start like a YouTube channel. I want to do some YouTube. They were like, yeah, man, let's do it. Let's do it. And then, the next time we played golf, I brought a camera out. I pulled the camera out. Hey, man, it's too slow, man. We're just playing too slow. Just take the camera away. I was like, you know what? I'll do this on my own. So I ended up playing golf for 5 months by myself, making videos constantly. And then, it just made me happy. It just got me out of a mental space throughout where I was at. And, I didn't expect for anything to blow up or anything like that. And I was just wanting to make my videos better. So I started with the phone, and it was just like, this is not it. So I'm a photographer. So I was like, you know what? Let me try a camera. And then I pulled the camera out, and it just looked 20 times better. And then I was just enjoying the process. And then one video just blew up, and all of a sudden, bang. And then I loved making videos, but everybody in the comments, hey man, what's your handicap? What's your handicap? What's this, that, and the third? So you know what? I was just like, man, I just want to get really, really good. And when I first started my videos, I really wasn't that good. I was like 90s, because I was getting back into it. So I was just like low 90s, and then maybe high 80s on a good day. And then I just wanted to get back to where I used to be. And then right now I'm playing the best golf of my life. And just been working my ass off like 4 or 5 times a week, brother, for like 2 years straight now. So that's pretty much the journey.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned kind of the struggles of coming out of, a career in football and, trying to find something else to do, as well as, obviously the personal tragedy with your girlfriend. How did being able to just dive fully into golf, what did that do for you in terms of finding kind of new purpose or a new something to pursue? I think as a lot of athletes like yourself, if they're not chasing something, they just don't feel quite fulfilled, right? How did golf kind of fill that space for you?
I tell people a lot, like, I played football, so it was like, I didn't know anything else. Like, I had to go to school, of course, but, football players, we're just athletes in general. We just want to go to school to play football. Let's pick a major. I went to sports management, and then I was training kids back home, but I didn't do anything with that. I ended up going back to school to get interdisciplinary studies and focused on fitness and health, and that got me into like training kids in football. But when I moved to Charlotte, I just found a regular 9 to 5, and I was just lost. I was like, is this life? And then golf brought me back to where it makes me feel like I'm back in it. Like I'm back in playing sports. I feel like I'm back in college again, basically. Like playing golf and then going to compete with other people. Even like I'm training to play against YouTubers right now. So it just makes me feel like I'm just in training mode. So it just gives me that feeling again. So I'm telling you guys, if you guys don't play golf, play golf. I'm telling you, if you don't play sports, just get into golf. But that's pretty much the process of what I, going on right now.
Well, something I've always wondered too about people coming from different sports. Obviously, in a sport like football, you're coming from, it's you against the guy across from you. Well, it's your team against, the guys wearing the other jerseys, right? In golf, it's so much often, so much more often you against yourself in a lot of ways. Do you find that to be the case? And how is that equally as motivating, as what you were finding on the football field?
Oh yeah. Mentally, it's very, very different, because football is just so fast. You don't have no time to think. You just react. And then your reaction is like, it's 9 times out of 10, it's a good reaction. In golf, you're thinking you might be thinking a lot, or you're thinking, and it's just like, it's just you. So if you think too much, and then you take so much time, you might mess up. But usually I got to a point where it's like, get to the ball, pre-shot routine, and go. So it's just very different. I'm still battling to this day about me versus me. Like, I still go through it. Like yesterday, I was just thinking over the ball too much, and I hit a ball that was super, super short. And I mean, it just happens. But I love it, because at the end of the day, right now, I've never had that me versus me, and I'm trying to beat me. And it's just, I mean, it's good. It's great mentally.
Yeah. From a content perspective, you have one of the most remarkably, I would say, consistent Instagram feeds that I've seen. Where some people are doing all kinds of stuff, throwing stuff at the wall to see what sticks, which, hey, nothing wrong with that. Trying this, that, and the other thing. You clearly just love to play golf. You play a lot of golf. So in a space where you can take it so many different ways, how did you find your angle, your voice, and say, like, yep, this is what I'm going to be on Instagram?
I'm very much of a laid back, chill guy. I'm not the guy to just go on camera and just, I'm just not that guy. I am funny, but I'm literally funny, but I can't do it on camera. But I just don't do the cringy things, because it's just not me. I rather stick to what people like to see, is like golf, and just golf in general. I might talk on camera, I might not talk on camera. I got to a point now that I don't even have to talk on camera, which is crazy to me. Everybody else, a lot of people do. But I'm just not gimmicky. I'm just not that guy. Obviously, you see a bunch of people in the space, not knocking them, that blow up to 200,000 followers because they're hella funny, but they can't golf worth crap. And I don't knock them at all. I love that they're still golfing. They're getting to the space. They're doing something for golf. For me, I just want to be good and great at golf, to where I can go on YouTube, go against the Brian Bros, go against and compete. I'd rather be in that space more than the other space. But Bob Does Sports, I freaking love them. I mean, but they just make it hella funny and entertaining. There's not too many people that can do that, from going from Instagram to YouTube. But I can still play great golf from Instagram and go to YouTube and still do the same thing, So that's just me in general. But like I said, not knocking the funny guys. It's just not my lane.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's a really important part of just like recognizing who you are and not trying to be something else, just because, these followers, while they don't know you personally for the most part, it's pretty quick to figure out if you're being authentic, right? Whether or not they know the person kind of behind the camera. But to talk a bit about your competitive golf game, did I see correctly that you posted a video late last year, it's like December 24, documenting, was that your first ever golf lesson? You were entirely self-taught up to that point?
Yeah, I've been entirely self-taught. Just watching a bunch of YouTube videos, and I'm very good at, I would say, I think it's because of athleticism, but I'm very good at picking up things very quick. So I used to watch YouTube videos and literally go on the course, watch it at the same time, and try to mimic it, and then just catch the feeling. So I go off of feeling with the swing and everything. But if you find the right coach, it's a game changer, which I have found the right coach. And she's been great, actually. She's she's a woman at the end of the day. And I think that women in the golf space with their swing have the best swings. I feel like they can teach you a lot about the swing. And she was the first coach that ever made me understand the swing fully, to where I watch myself or watch somebody else and I can see what's going on, which is crazy to me now, to this day. So when I watch my videos, I'm like, ooh, that's what I did. Fix it. When I used to watch my videos, I was just like, it's a bad swing, work on it. But now I understand it. But yeah, I'm self-taught. I have 2 lessons with one other guy, and then I had which I think he put a Band-Aid on my swing, and he might have helped it a little bit, but just to put a Band-Aid on it. But the coach that I have now, I've worked with her twice now, and it's just like just money. And my game is just at a way better space right now. So I'm just, when you're in the golfing and you get stuck at 80s and you're just stuck, but you're getting better, but you just can't get past it. I'm at that point right now where I'm shooting. Like my bad days are just like super bad days are just like 82, 83, which is like crazy. It's great to me, but I'm still mad about it. But when I shoot like low 70s, it's like, oh yeah, it's coming. Now it's coming. And I've been consistently doing it now. So where it's like, oh yeah, I give it about a year, maybe less, to where I'm just see where I want to be. So
yeah. Well, you ask any golfer if they're happy with their most recent score, 90% chance they're going to probably say no, because that's just no matter how good you get, right? Even Scotty Scheffler, if he shoots, only 3 under, he's probably like, not the greatest day out there. But I'm curious, after 10 years or so of teaching yourself, what kind of prompted the thought of like, okay, maybe I need to see a coach?
Well, it's 4.5 years really, but 4.5, 5. But I got to a point where I was just fed up. It was just, I was trying to fix my swing so much to where I started going over the top really, really bad. And I just couldn't get to that slot, or just couldn't understand how to get into that slot. And I was just playing, I was even shooting 70s, just going over the top really bad, which was crazy to me. But I was just playing, I was just scoring. But that's pretty much what it was. I just needed to figure out the golf swing if I wanted to get better and play against better players.
Well, it obviously takes a lot of time and effort and energy, and really, again, reiterating, time on the golf course, working on your swing to try to get as good as you can possibly be. But of course, as we were talking about right before we hopped on here, you do have a successful day job, quote unquote. How do you balance? It would be one thing, I think, to just even try to have a normal job and be really good at golf, much less also add on the whole content side of your work to that. How do you juggle all that?
Which I'm very fortunate and very blessed of how everything came together, which was unexpected and not planned. I started my business when I was in my relationship with my last girlfriend, and then she ended up naming my business Uncommon Visuals LLC, and I stuck with it. And then after the relationship, she passed, then I really wanted to keep grind and get that business going, and basically in her name, so to speak, which is doing really good. So I don't have to have a 9 to 5. I can go golf when I want to golf, and people always say how do you golf, or how do you golf? It just happened. I don't know. It just happened. So I do that during the day, my real estate photography, and I might do that and I go to different places around North Carolina and South Carolina. So I'll just stop in different locations and play 9 holes and just make videos. And that's how it worked out. Obviously I do bartend too. So I bartend 2 days out the weeks, and that happens from 4 o'clock till 11 at night. So I'm not doing anything, not golfing in those hours. So before that, I am golfing. So it gives me a lot of free reign to play a lot of golf. So if I had a 9 to 5, this would be almost impossible to do. I'm just fortunate that I get to run my business and have time to do it.
Okay. That's really interesting. So you're talking about maybe you've got a house you're going to shoot out in, somewhere in North Carolina. You're you pass a golf course on the way down there. Oh, you're I'm going to stop here.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of grab 9 holes, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I'll see a golf course I've never played, and I'll just say, hey man, I just want to play 9 holes, and play 9 holes. And what's crazy is nobody ever knows that I record. I don't call a golf course and say, hey, I'm about to record. Can I play 9 holes and give it for free? No, that wasn't me. I'm not that guy to call courses and do that. I probably called a course one time and it worked out. And I usually just show up, play, and then pull the camera out and record. So I'm paying for tee times. But I'm fortunate now that where in Charlotte, I really don't have to pay to play anymore. I've been paid to play golf in 3 months, which is insane to me. But I'm very fortunate of what my videos have done.
Mm. Yeah, given the size of your channels and the amount of content you've published, I was also a little surprised that your first real golf post, at least on Instagram, wasn't that long ago, really. But what was it like kind of getting your social channels off the ground? And at what point did you reach a point where you kind of looked around, was like, wait, this is working. Like I can really make something out of this.
Um, well, let's see. So when I was starting, I was getting like 30 likes, 40 likes on every video. And that's what when I switched my camera. And then one day I was golfing, making a video, and some guy interrupted me, which it's on my pinned videos. A guy interrupted me and tried to work with my swing or work with my alignment. And after I made that video, I thought it was okay. Thought it was just an okay video. And then I posted it, and all of a sudden, bang, first video just blew up out of nowhere. And I was just like, yo, what is going on? And then all of a sudden I hit like 10K, and I was just like, oh, okay, now it's coming. And I was like, all right, I got to change the name. So my last, I was clutch_athlete since high school on my Instagram. And then I was just like, I got to come up with a name. And for some odd reason, Homie Golf stayed in my head, but I didn't like it. And I was just like, let's figure something else out. But it wouldn't go anywhere. It was just stuck in my head. And I was like, you know what? If it's stuck in my head, that's the name. So I changed the name at 10K. And when I changed the name, for some odd reason, it just started cooking. Like people started like coming. And I just, another video came out when I played that Trump course that blew up. And then when I hit 20, it was just like, all right, this is a real thing. And yeah, I just kept grinding. But I tell people all the time, like, if you feel like this is a 9 to 5, making videos and trying to get to where you're going, you're not going to make it. You got to genuinely love doing this and have fun doing it. And which is crazy that I'm talking to you now. I will say this is the first week in 2 years, this is the first week I'm ever tired in making content. First week I'm ever tired, but I'm still grinding through it. I still love it. But obviously we need breaks, and my body's telling me I need a break now. So, which I won't, but I would just tell you the feeling. But if you feel like it's a grind, it's not gonna work out. But after the name change, it just I feel like that's when it just changed level.
Yeah. That's really, really interesting, especially the fact that you were kind of fighting against the name at first, and then that, become, looking at you now, like it makes perfect sense. Like it sounds like that. I wouldn't have known that wasn't your name the entire time on Instagram. So that's pretty cool. So you kind of hinted at it a little bit, in terms of the behind the scenes, work that is required to produce this content and, edit these videos and shoot it and do all that. Can you give us a little insight into, what that behind the scenes is for those people who probably look at your content like, oh, his life looks like it's easy. All he does is play golf, but there's obviously more to that.
No, it's, to be honest, I am a loner. I have a couple friends. The people that I golf with are the people that I golf with. I might, in the golf space, I probably got, there's 2 guys that I golf with all the time, which are on my team. And we hung out before outside of golf for sure. But I'm very much a loner. So it is tough. It's not sweet. People think it's like, this is the sweet life. It's like, you just looking outside in, brother. That's not how it goes. Like literally, I'm talking to you. After I get out of here, I got to drive an hour to go make money. Then I have to drive an hour and a half, go straight to my other job. And I have to work until 12 o'clock tonight. And then I come back, and then I'm probably going to make videos till 3 a.m. And then I'm going to wake up and, same thing. So I'm usually, I'm busy all day, and it's a grind, in different ways. Do I enjoy it? Yes. Does it get tiring? Yes. But I'm always on the move. I will say there's weeks that I do like, oh, my life is kind of amazing. But it's like things that I worked my ass off for, and I do deserve it. Like the PGA Championship came down this week. I was so busy with events, meeting different people, golfing with different people, doing tournaments. And Eric Lottery had a big party with all the other Black golf influencers, which was monumental, because all the Black golfers in the space are you see a handful of them, and that handful of the big content creators were all in one space, which was amazing. And it's sweet sweet a lot of times, but sometimes it's a lot of work, which it doesn't seem like it to me because I enjoy it. I'm up till like 3, 4 in the morning making content, and then I have to wake up in the morning to go to work or go golf with other people and then make more content. But it's not sweet all the time. No.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure it's like anything else. Anything worth pursuing is worth working hard for, and you're definitely putting in that time. But before we get you out of here, want to just ask, what's next? Kind of what are you working on? What's the goal as you're trying to obviously get better, but are you looking to kind of get into some serious amateur competitions or some new content we can be on the lookout for?
I've held back on amateur competitions just because I want to get comfortable with my game. Right now, I'm feeling very comfortable with my game, so I am looking to probably jump into some tournaments this summer. Also, my first YouTube video, it will be up in about a week or two, possibly, which is going to be really, really good. Also, I'm trying to get with, Homie Golf clothing brand, but obviously you got to put in money for that. So I'm trying to get into that. So a lot of people keep asking me, so I might dip into that, maybe like some hats or something. But right now it's just, grinding, and in this space, a lot of things just pop up. Like tomorrow I might get hit up for a tournament out of state and somebody wants to fly me out. It just pops up. But right now, nothing crazy, but the craziest thing is just the YouTube right now. That's what everybody's asking for. That's what, I'm trying to get into. So to go golf with other players like Evan Thompson, Brian Bros, which I went to Florida and golfed with Evan about a couple weeks ago, which he's a dope guy. But pretty much just trying to dip into that YouTube space and start competing for sure.
Good deal. Well, best of luck with that. Michael, really appreciate you taking some time to come on, and we'll look forward to checking you out on YouTube. And again, you can find him on Instagram at Homie Golf, formerly under a different name, but now under the name that's famous for your content, man. So again, appreciate the time and best of luck with everything.